Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome to 3302. This is where I take a look at the news and happenings in and around Elite Dangerous. Today I'm going to take a look at the pricing and packaging changes for both Elite Dangerous and Horizons. We've had announcements for the next 4 expansions within the Horizon seasons, and there's been a very unusual activity within the galaxy. A Majestic class Imperial capital ship has been destroyed. Perhaps the largest news from last week for Elite Dangerous was the package and pricing changes to both Elite and Horizons. Now, it's no small secret that there's been a lot of controversy around Horizons and its pricing, and it pretty much reached meme levels around the internet, with a lot of comments being made all over the place from both Elite players and non-Elite players regarding what's been perceived as a very high price point. And of course, the fact that Horizons also contained the base version of Elite Dangerous also gave people the impression that Frontier were forcing you to buy a game that you already owned. All that said, the opinions around the pricing were naturally quite mixed, with many people being quite happy to pay the prices asked. However, Frontier have listened to all the feedback and they've now gone ahead and changed both the packaging and the prices. And this affects the products both on Steam as well as on the Frontier store. There is now only one game for Elite Dangerous, not two, whereas before we had Elite Dangerous and Elite Dangerous Horizons both selling as separate games. They've now been combined into a single game. So if you go to the Frontier page or the Steam page, you'll see that they have Elite Dangerous available for the price of £20. If you want all the new content that's included in Horizons, that has now been included as a regular season pass, much like how other games do it. So it's a proper expansion, a season pass that gets you a year's worth of content, and that is priced at £25. And of course you need to buy the base package of Elite Dangerous first, and then the season pass on top of that, which will get you all of the content. At the moment, both of these packages are on sale, both on the Steam store as well as on the Frontier store. You can get Elite Dangerous for just £10, that's 50% off, and the Horizon Season Pass you can get for £20 instead of £25. So if you haven't got any of the games at all, that makes the total package just £30 for Elite Dangerous plus Horizons. And if you do have Elite Dangerous, you can upgrade it for £20 to Horizons. So that makes the whole packaging options much less confusing. There is one other package that's available, and this is the Elite Dangerous Deluxe Edition. That costs £40 or $39.99 if you want to be precise, and it contains Elite Dangerous as well as Horizons DLC. It also contains a number of paint jobs which you can use on your ships, as well as a bobblehead. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Frontier handle this going forward, because obviously when Season 3 comes out, new players are going to have to buy Elite Dangerous, plus Season 2, plus Season 3. I don't know if there'll be a way of mix and matching the seasons, especially if the future seasons contain content down on planets and things like that. But that's not too unlike how it currently works with World of Warcraft. I believe if you want to buy the latest expansion for World of Warcraft, you also have to own all the previous expansions as well. So there is precedent for that. My theory, though, is that going forward each year there'll be a new version of the deluxe edition of Elite Dangerous, and that will contain all the season passes that have been previously issued as well as the current one. That's just speculation on my part, but it would make complete sense, and it would give everyone very easily understandable pricing options and packages. Now, there may be a little bit of bad feeling for among some people who feel they've paid more than what they perhaps would have liked to have done. With the deluxe edition, or if you buy the base edition of Elite plus a season pass, then the pricing is more or less the same as what you would have paid previously for Horizons anyway. But now with the added option of a season pass, which you can get for £25, all the previous owners of Elite could have upgraded at a much cheaper option. But as a bit of a sweetener to the deal, Frontier has thrown in a new paint job to all existing owners of Horizons. This is a gold paint job for the Asp Explorer. And if you've seen the pricing for these on the Frontier store before, the gold paint jobs usually go for around about £8 to £10. So the idea, I think, is that this hopefully makes things a little bit square and a little bit more fairer than they perhaps otherwise would have been. Now, another thing that come out this week amongst those changes is the fact that the next 4 expansions have actually been announced, along with their titles and a rough delivery date for them. We already know what patch 2.1 is going to be. That's called the Engineers, and there's been quite a bit of information that already. There was also a bit more information on that available in this week's dev update, so I'll go into that very quickly now. So this dev update for 2.1 talks about the mission changes that are coming, and the idea behind all this is to give the mission system a big overhaul and make it feel much better. Frontier stated that they have 5 key goals that they want to tackle for the mission system. The first is personalization, the other is progression, then variety, consequences and rewards. Personalization is all about reflecting the player's presence in the world. Now, this isn't necessarily about personalization for the player themselves, but rather for personalization for characters within the galaxy, so that players feel there is some life out there, that it does have some personalization to it. And this, as mentioned in the previous updates, will be achieved by giving the mission givers faces as well as some history, and each of them will be unique per faction, so you can actually progress through a specific chosen faction now. The more you work with a particular faction, the better your reputation and status will get with them. And this progression will grant you better missions, as well as allow you access to more important mission givers and members of that organisation. Apparently these mission givers will also remember you and remember your dealings with you, so my take on that is that these mission givers may start reacting differently towards you depending on the outcome of any particular mission, but that's speculation. It didn't actually go into too much detail on that part. But these contacts will also be able to inform you of what's going on with that particular minor faction, as well as what's going on with that system within their system. Is that system in a state of war, or is a state of war perhaps approaching? Contacts will let you know of what's going on, and that again should bring some much needed life to the galaxy. The idea behind this is to convey to the player what's going on within the galactic simulation. Patch 2.1 would also include a whole number of other updates. One of the things that's mentioned in this update is some new huge weapons, something that I think quite a lot of people would be happy to hear. And it also appears to be shaping up that 2.1 will contain a fairly significant graphics overhaul. Frontier have already mentioned in a previous update that 2.1 will contain updates to the graphics surrounding asteroids, the fogs, the shadows, and hopefully the quality of the asteroids themselves, as well as some of the things like low draw distance. Now, in this latest dev update, Michael Brooks also confirmed that the system lighting will get an overhaul. At the moment, when you jump into a system that has a red star, for example, you will find that as you travel throughout the system, it is only lit by white light. Now, it didn't always used to be this way. Back in the early days of beta, the colour of the lighting within a system was determined by the star type. So, for example, if you jumped into a system that had a red star, there would be this beautiful red cast of light to everything within that system. You can still see this in the game within some systems. If you go out to the Nebula NGC 7822, there's some Class O stars there, and these have a very vivid blue light, and as you travel throughout the system, you'll see that everything is also lit up with blue light, but it doesn't seem to apply to all the other star colours that are currently within the game. So that's something that's going to change within patch 2.1, as all the stars will retain their lighting throughout the whole system. I'm kind of hopeful that on the approach to patch 2.1 we're also going to hear about more graphical updates from Frontier that are going to be included within that patch. Maybe some lighting and shadows within stations. There's been a number of graphical elements that have actually reduced in quality over the previous 18 months or so. It seems Frontier are now revisiting their graphics then, which is really good news. Now on to a very quick look at the other planned 3 expansions for the Horizon season. 2.2 is called Guardians. I released a video on this on Friday and speculated that it may well contain passenger missions. This is the text on the Frontier website for patch 2.2. Called Guardians, coming in summer 2016, it says take what comes and strike back with double, bring a second ship to every combat encounter with ship-launched fighters, and defend your passengers against the deadliest threats in the galaxy. So that's all good stuff. We've known about ship-launched fighters for quite a while, and we also know eventually that you'll be able to have your friends control one of your ship-launched fighters. For more of my thoughts on patch 2.2, do check out the video that I released on Friday. I'll link it in the video description. Patch 2.3 is called The Commanders, and coming in fall 2016. The website says team up and stand together. Forge your own identity with the new Commander creator, then share your bridge with multi-crew and fly with friends. Frontier announced both Multicrew and Commander Creator quite a while ago. I think it was during EGX of 2015. I'll go into more on my thoughts on this during another video later on this week, and also I'll probably make a further video on what I think about what patch 2.4 could be. On the website it's just 4 question marks and it says coming soon, which I suspect will be toward the end of 2016. It says a secret revealed in Elite Dangerous Horizons final expansion. Speculation, of course, is rife on this one, with people wondering if it's perhaps a Thargoid or other alien expansion, and other people suspecting that it might perhaps have something to do with the lost colonies out there in deep space that Frontier have previously mentioned. It could, of course, be anything to do with any of that or even something else. My thoughts, though, are that patch 2.4 may well tie into whatever content is planned for Season 3. On Thursday, there was quite an interesting development within the game. This occurred within the Facey system, and now apologies if I've pronounced that wrong, but what is there is that there's a little area with a huge wreckage in it, and this is from an Imperial Majestic class capital ship. No one seems to know what has destroyed it, and there is a little group of NPCs floated about that are questioning just what could have destroyed something that large. Adding more fuel to the speculation is the fact that apparently the capital ship around Sol has now disappeared, and the capital ship in Achenar has also disappeared. And at the moment there's no information as to where those 2 capital ships, one from the Federation and one from the Empire, have actually gone. Yet again, the speculation is in full force, with some people suspecting that perhaps the Thargoids or even another alien race is behind this. Other people wondering if perhaps another faction, and maybe a minor faction, have come into some sort of massive power. There's an alternative theory as well that maybe there's some rogue AI elements out there. Now, AI, or at least self-aware machines, are banned within the Elite Dangerous Galaxy, with all known such machines having been destroyed quite a long time ago, but it's also possible that some of them escaped into the depths of the galaxy and are now making some sort of return. Unfortunately, this capital shipwreck is located in a system that requires a permit. I think you need the rank of Earl in the Empire at least to be able to get in there. The downside being that it's put some very strict limitations on the number of people that are going to be able to go and visit this site. But nonetheless, I look forward to seeing where all this is going to go. Now, by this point, pretty much everyone, I would have thought, knows who the Fuel Rats are, and they are about to do a giveaway. They have a Fuel Rats mug and 5 bumper stickers to give away. To enter into this giveaway, all you need to do is check out their tweet, which I've linked below, and then follow the Fuel Rats on Twitter and retweet their message. The giveaway will run until 11:59 PM on Monday the 15th of February, so if you're interested in that, do head on over and check out their tweet. As always, I like to take a bit of a look at the creations from the Elite Dangerous community, and this week it's Eramis1. Now, Eramis has been doing YouTube videos for a very long time, and they're of a particular high quality. If you recognise the name Eramis, it's because he's one of the organisers behind the Distant Worlds expedition, and he was in fact the first commander to reach the other side of the galaxy, and he did chart that journey on his YouTube channel. Now, he's also been doing some really high quality videos for the current expedition, and if you head on over to his YouTube channel, you can check some of them out. They're well worth taking a look. Just as a final note, for the next few weeks I'm going to be on holiday, so the video output will be slightly reduced, but don't worry, there would still be plenty of Elite Dangerous videos as well as a couple of other videos to boot, and after that I'll be back and a normal service will resume. So that brings us to the end of this week's episode of 3302. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys and girls next time. Hi guys and girls, I'm Obsidian Ant and welcome back to Elite Dangerous. And once again I'm out here on the Distant Worlds expedition. This right here was Waypoint 4, I believe in the Omega Nebula. I met up with a bunch of players here and we decided to go on tour of one of the local planets, led at the front there by Steve the Pirate. I was cautious at first that maybe pirate by name, pirate by nature, he was leading us into some sort of trap.